Louisiana News at Noon begins with breaking news.
Breaking news at noon, Louisiana's first execution in 15 years is scheduled to still happen tonight. One of that inmate's potential halts has been denied. We're talking about Jessie Hoffman. You see him right there on your screen. He's set to be executed in just a few hours if there are no more filings in court from his attorneys. Alyssa Curtis has been in Baton Rouge all morning following the latest on this case. Alyssa, what can you tell us now?
Leah, Jessie Hoffman's fight here at the 19th Judicial Court, unfortunately for him, did not go how he or his lawyers had hoped. Judge Chip Moore listened to some of these arguments and he decided to dissolve the TRO and take away that halt on the execution. Hoffman's lawyers tried to argue once again that this method of execution through nitrogen hypoxia infringes on his ability to practice his Buddhist religion through breathing meditation. This argument has been denied now through other courts and other judges. And Judge Moore pointed to those judgments in his decision today. I'm told by Loyola Law Professor Dane Ciolino that these religious arguments often don't get much traction, but lawyers for Jessie Hoffman say they thought Louisiana valued the right to practice religion.
I thought wrong. Louisiana threw up these procedural roadblocks in the face of his genuine moral motion to have his religion respected at the time of his death. And they're talking about res judicata. This is a moral issue, and Judge Moore could have ruled consistent with Mr. Hoffman's right to practice his religion.
They also once again tried to bring the claim of the 8th Amendment, arguing that this method of nitrogen hypoxia infringes on it's the torture claim, that this is cruel and unusual punishment. Again, Judge Moore did not want to listen to that argument, and he's denied that claim as well, and once again dissolved the halt on the execution. Hoffman's lawyers say they're not giving up, though. They are filing a response to Judge Moore's decision today, and again hoping that the Supreme Court takes up this case in time. Reporting live in Baton Rouge, Alyssa Curtis, WWL Louisiana.
Now, as Alyssa just mentioned, Hoffman's attorneys are using all efforts to try and stop his execution. That fight continues in a separate hearing in federal court in New Orleans this morning. Winston Reed is there now, where he joins us with the latest there. Winston, what's happening here in New Orleans with this case?
Well, the fight in federal court is lasting a little longer as the hearing did go into recess. Court will start again at 2:15. In the meantime, the attorneys, both the state and Hoffman's attorneys, will submit briefings during this recess period and submit it to the court. During the recess period, Hoffman's attorneys are arguing that there was racial bias involved in the juror's decision to recommend the death penalty for Hoffman. Hoffman again was convicted of raping, murdering, and abducting a woman back in 1996. Now, it was an all-white jury that made that decision. Hoffman's attorneys are seeking an evidence hearing for the racial bias claim. Now, that habeas petition was denied more than a decade ago, but Hoffman's attorneys are attempting to revive it. They are saying that a pair of U.S. Supreme Court decisions should give him the chance to have that evidence hearing on racial bias. But the state argues that the legal landscape changes doesn't change the merit behind the original verdict and the decision to recommend that death penalty. They are also calling this a last-ditch effort by Hoffman's attorneys to, again, prevent him from becoming the first person to be executed in over 15 years and the first person to be executed in the state of Louisiana through the gassing method. We will have the latest following today's hearing, but the judge will not make a decision until the court returns after 2:15 when that recess period is over. We'll have the latest on that. Reporting live here at Federal Court, Winston Reed, WWL, Louisiana.
All right, as we await that decision in federal court, our crews will be in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Angola as we follow tonight's scheduled execution. So be sure to look for updates all day in our app, in later newscasts, and on WWL+.